In the last video, we started our look at the editor and working with the edit points. In that video, we also had acknowledged that there are various types of edit points. So in this video, we'll look at these. So by now, you should know how to add an edit point to the editor. To select a type, simply right-click on the edit point that is already added. From the menu that appears, you will see a list of point types. The type selected will affect the shape of the envelope between the selected edit point and the point directly before it. So let's take a look at some of the differences for these types. The first is single curve. This type will provide a linear curve by default between the 2 points. The dot in the middle represents the tension curve. Adjusting this will essentially adjust the shape or slope of the curve. Right-clicking on the tension point will reset its value to the default. The tension point can be found in a few of the curve types. The next type is the double curve. Again, by default, this will create a linear curve between the 2 points. However, the tension behavior of this type changes. When adjusting the tension point with positive values, only the left side of the tension point will increase, while the complete opposite values will be applied to the right side of the curve. When applying negative values to the tension point, the left side of the point will decrease, while the right side, again, will have the opposite values and increase its curve shape. The third type is alt single curve. With this curve, when adjusting the tension point, one side of the point will have more emphasis on the curve. Negative values will give more of a negative curve to the left side of the tension point. Positive values will give more of a positive curve to the right side of the tension point. The fourth type is alt double curve, and much like the first double curve we looked at moments ago, the main difference is that the curves with this type are not as steep. Next is the hold type. This one is often the default value when first starting with a blank editor. This type will hold the value of the previous edit point till it reaches the point in question, then will make a drastic change in values from one to the other. The stairs type will again, by default, create a linear curve. However, when adjusting the tension point, this linear curve will be replaced with a curve that resembles a set of stairs. The next type, smooth stairs, as you might expect, is much like the stairs type. The only difference is that these stairs have curves rather than sudden changes to the envelope, resulting in, as you would guess, a smooth stair effect. The pulse type will create an envelope curve that resembles that of a square wave, which can produce several drastic changes to the curve. The wave type produces an envelope that resembles that of a triangle waveform. The last type is half sine, which, as the name suggests, creates an envelope curve that will have the shape of half a sine wave. So as you can see, there is a wide variety of curve shapes that can be applied. A few final things to point out with the editor is the reset and freeze options. If you have made a whack of edits and wish to clean the editor and start all over again, you can do this easily by clicking on the options icon and select reset. All the edit points will be removed from the editor, and the last edit points type is set to a single curve. If you have a bunch of edits and want to make sure that you don't accidentally make any changes to the editor, you can freeze the editor, which locks all the edit points in place. This is done by selecting the freeze icon. So in this video, we had a look at the different curve types for the envelopes in the editor, plus looking at resetting the editor and locking the edit points with the freeze option. In the next few videos, we'll look at using what we've learned about the editor and applying it to the time and volume.